Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a while. I feel like I got dressed by a toddler today. Stripes and solids, the colors don't match. It's quarantine, it's lockdown, it's self-preservation. I'm lucky I have my wits about me, which are tenuous on a best day. Hello, Pip, my yoga assistant. So it's been a while since I've seen you guys. Today, 3 weeks from my pacemaker surgery. Every nurse practitioner in the surgical center said you're too young. It was really flattering lighting, very dim, very low. They were very kind. It was very early in the day, so they probably hadn't rubbed the sleep out of their eyes. But yeah, doing pretty well. Can't raise my left arm over my head. We gotta make sure that the wire that goes into my heart, that sends me shocks to get my heart beating again, adheres, gets embedded, so that's kind of what the first 6 or so weeks is about there. From that point on, I have about 2 more months before I'm up to 100%. But it'll be lovely to be able to, without thinking, raise both arms overhead because you're surprisingly, you do a lot of stuff with that left arm. I didn't realize it was gonna be so difficult. I have a little sling that I sometimes wear to remind myself not to do crazy stuff. That being said, what have I been doing since the surgery? Well, I've been walking a lot, like 7-10 miles a day. A short day for me is 5 or 6 miles, so just getting out there and just moving a little bit, it's been great, I love it. I live in a community where I've got a lot of different ways to walk, but with 20 or so days since my surgery, I'm getting a little bored, so I thought I would put together another little easy video. Today's video is not gonna be so much yoga, it's gonna be kind of a combination of things. We'll start on the mat. That's why I've got everything sort of lowered down here. We'll do some twisting, some opening up, a little core. Got a new move that I want to show you guys for a lot of core stuff. And then just kind of see where it takes us. So it's going to be a short one, maybe 30 minutes if we're lucky. So that being said, let's get on our mats. I'm going to have you guys lay all the way on your back. I'll do my very, very best to sort of scream and shout at you so I can be heard. But we're going to start on our backs. Let's bend our knees, feet are flat, knees about hip distance apart, about the width of 2 fists, arms out to your side for stability. And we're just gonna have our legs in a staggered motion fall to the right. So we're just gonna get a nice little twist going to the right. We're gonna hold these postures for a little bit, just to kind of give our bodies some time to open up, kind of let those muscles start to stretch out. Feeling good in the twist. Great thing here, if you feel like this is too deep, you can always take a block and put it under that lower leg, that lower knee. It's a nice bit of support. It does kind of help give us that inch or so, especially as your body's kind of warming up. It's late in the afternoon for me while I'm filming this. So I've walked the dogs, I've been out and about, I've been moving around all day. So my body's a little bit more limbered. So I'm a little bit more flexible than I would be. So let's bring our knees right back up to neutral. Oh, kind of resettle yourself. Everything should be in the same position. Now we're just going to fall gently to the left. Again, keeping that staggered leg twist. You're going to notice one side is going to be a lot more flexible. You're going to get that knee to the ground very easily. So maybe it's your dominant side, maybe it's not. But just let those muscles open up. And the longer we hold these postures, the muscles start to loosen up, get a little bit length. Beautiful. Bring those knees back up to neutral. Now go ahead and draw those knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, hug those shins, and go a little side to side on the lower back. Loosen things up. Always a good idea. Let's drop those feet flat on the floor, arms are to your side. You're going to face up looking at the ceiling. Knees are together this time. So let's get them and have them fall to the right. Try to keep your knees stacked. Try not to let them shift. One's going to naturally, but try to keep them as lined up as you can. Then once you've got that twist, take your knees and draw them up towards your right elbow. Kind of a deeper twist. And again, we're just going to hold this. And your breath is just steady, rhythmic, nothing special. We're not doing any specialized yogi breathing yet. Good. Bring those those knees back up around to neutral. Reestablish yourself. Let's hug those knees in again. Get that lower back rolled out a little bit side to side. Just to reestablish some alignment. Drop those feet flat, knees again together. And now we're going to gently have those legs fall to the left. Again, keeping those knees as stacked one on top of the other as you can. Once you've got the twist in place, start drawing those knees up to that left elbow. And again, remember, we're keeping our gaze up at the sky. My yoga assistants are very nervous this afternoon. What's going on with them? They're the ones that help me dress. They have no fashion sense. Beautiful. Let's again slowly unravel that twist, bring ourselves back to neutral, draw those knees up, go a little side to side, realign, get that spine straightened out. We get a little bit of an angle when we take those knees off to the side. And now we're going to go to the final twist. So knees together, we're going to have our legs fall to the right, and we're going to look towards the left. So this looking towards the left is just helping to intensify the stretch, especially along that side body. Holding it, letting things unravel. Feels good to twist, especially in this supported manner, on the floor, nowhere to fall. Bring those knees back up to neutral. Again, draw them up into your chest. Do a little side to side motion. Again, keeping those knees together, falling to the left. And now we're looking towards the right. And once again, you'll notice one side might feel a little more flexible, you can get a little deeper into the twist. That's just kind of how we come. So when I notice on one of the sides, and sometimes it's not even the same side for me, so I might, Monday might be my left side, on Tuesday it might be my right, who knows. You just kind of keep going back into the side that feels a little less compliant, working a little bit deeper. And again, draw those knees back into neutral, hug up into your chest. Roll a little side to side. What I want to do is I want to drop your feet flat, separate knees about hip distance apart. Let's go into a little bit of bridge. We're going to use bridge for some bridge hip ups in our core. So let's get our bridge alignment down. Classically bridge, those heels are just coming into contact with your middle finger. And from this position, shoulder, you might even roll those shoulder blades underneath your back, and then you're just lifting your hips up. Squeezing, your quads are engaged, lower back's working as well. Surprisingly, your glutes aren't working so much, but your core is working for stability. And let's just exhale, drop those hips back down. Now, if you're feeling really strong, you might be feeling a little flexible, bring those heels a little closer in, and then as you inhale and shift those hips up, you might decide to rise up on the balls of your toes. Just getting a little deeper into this expression, into this posture. And see the difference. You might like one over the other. And slowly lower those hips. Let's try that first version again. So I'm going to shift my feet out a little further, make sure that the backs of my heels are just touching my middle fingers. And I'm shifting those hips up. Holding, really contracting those abs, working some of my lower back as well. And then exhale, drop those hips. And then bring those heels a little closer in. You don't have to, but just try it if you're game for it. And then inhale, shift those hips up, and then go ahead and rise up on the balls of your toes. And then slowly exhale and drop them down. Now draw your knees into your chest, roll side to side. Go ahead and come to stillness, roll along that spine, change the direction of the roll, come up to seated on your mat. So a little bit of core today a little bit. So we're gonna do bridge hip up. So we got into bridge, and all we're gonna do is let our hips drop down, not touching the floor, then just coming right back up. We'll do 10 of those. Then we're gonna do some flutter kicks. So with flutter kicks, because I've got a little wonky lower back, and before my surgery, I was doing a lot of bike riding. So, and I have a road bike, and it's a serious road bike, and I'm way hunched over. I was serious at one point when I was riding. Now I'm kind of like, ooh, I need a basket and a bell perhaps. But my bike is set up so that I'm really rounded over. It puts a lot of strain on my lower back. If I'm riding for any distance of time before I stop, I often would just get out of the saddle, arch back, just to kind of relieve some of that rounded tension and then get back into my saddle. So I've got a lot of that going on for the previous 5 or 6 weeks before surgery. So when I do flutter kicks, I take my hands and put them almost under my lower back for stability, and I'll show you all these, and then we'll do them together. And then reverse crunches, my favorite things, where we are flat, shoulders are on your mat, and your knees are coming towards your shoulders. So you're basically lifting your hips up and coming in slightly. So it's just the lowest part of our abs working. And then the final movement, I don't know what to call it. I saw it on an Instagram post, which I'm usually not a fan of, but it seemed really, now this guy added some weights to it. He was kind of this, muscle head weight guy, but he's got a lot of interesting moves. I like this move. We're not going to do it with weights. So bridge hip ups, we've got that going. Let me show you what those look like. Again, I'm in bridge position, and all I'm doing is shifting my hips up and dropping them down. They're not going to touch the floor. They're just going to hip right on up. It's a nice fluid movement. And again, if I want to get a little deeper, I'm going to bring those heels closer in, rise up on the balls of my toes, drop those hips, flex them back up. Now, we're doing 4 rounds, so on some of the rounds, you may choose to extend one of your legs off, giving yourself a little bit more instability. You can cross the leg over. That works as well. Those bridge hip ups. Flutter kicks, hands under my lowest part of my back, shoulders up, looking at the sky, flutter. Remember, this is not a flutter kick, that's just kicking your ankles. The kick starts at your hip. Your quads are working, core's working as well. Reverse crunches, hands can be by your hand, your hands can be by your head right here or on the ground, your choice, or out to the side for stability. Because remember, shoulders are on your mat, and you're just lifting your hips up, and your knees are coming towards your shoulders. Nice, easy movement, nice and slow, nice and controlled, especially on the descend. The eccentric movement, where we have contracted and are elongating again, that's where a lot of the good strength comes from, going slow on the eccentric. Now, the final one, like I said, I don't really know the name of it, but what we're gonna do is, if you guys remember fixed firm posture, which is a really tricky yoga posture, where you're sitting here on the ground and then you go all the way back. I won't do it, but this is basically the position. We're gonna, and keeping our knees together, we're gonna start with our knees apart so we can basically kind of sit between our feet. If this is too much strain on your knees, get a block, or bring your legs together so that you're sitting on your heels. I'm gonna go a little further apart, and all we're doing is coming up and down. Now the guy I saw doing this had weights in his hands, that's a good idea, and I think he was doing an overhead press at some point. He got really into it. But this is kind of a nice core, and it's working quads too. I found this on his leg day. That's kind of fun as well. So 10 of each. We're not going to do time today. We're going to do numbers 4 rounds. Help me keep track. Oh, you're good for nothing. Pip. He's the pretty one. You ready? Yeah. Okay. So bridge hip ups to start with 10. All right. So we're going to start with our alignment first. Shoulders are flat. And we're going to go for 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one, 10, beautiful. Extend those legs out, we're gonna go for our flutter kick. So, 10 each leg, so that means we're gonna count up to 20. I'll let you guys know where we are. So get those hands in position. Remember, shoulders are off the mat. Chin is away from your chest. So you're looking up at the sky, no crunching in, looking down. So up for 1, 2. Halfway. Beautiful, we're there. All right, now reverse crunches. I like to cross my ankles over, again, arms are by my side for stability. And remember, we're crunching, those hips are coming up, knees coming towards your shoulders. So we're coming up and in for 1, nice and slow on the descend. 2, halfway there. More to go. And 10, perfect. And now we're going to switch in position. You need to figure out a name for these. If you guys have anything clever, please let me know. Send me a note. So starting seated, I like to keep my hands at my chest up for 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, and 10. Perfect. No rest for the wicked. Let's get right back to those bridge hip ups. So if you've tried this with your, what we call maybe a standard alignment where your middle fingers are touching the back of your heels, bring those heels a little closer in, and then maybe rise up onto your toes. So shift those hips up for 1, 2, 3, 4. And 10. Perfect. Drop those hips. Hands right under your hips for those flutter kicks. Remember, shoulders engaged. If you don't want to have your shoulders off the mat, that's perfectly fine as well. Just keep them supported to go a little bit more and deeper into that core. You're going to lift those shoulders up. That's the difference here. We're going for flutter kicks. 1, 2. And 20. Perfect. All right, reverse crunches. Let's go right for it. Remember, nice and slow with control, especially on the eccentric or the descending movement. So we're up for 1, 2. 7 down, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Sitting on up, getting into our position for our last in this second round. So starting here, again, hands at your chest, coming up for 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. All right. Halfway there, guys. Always a good sign. Back to our bridge hip ups. Find the alignment that works best for you. Hello, guys. And we're going for 1, 2, 3, 4. 10. Perfect. All right, flutter kicks. We're practically in position for them. Remember, lifting those shoulders up a little bit more intense. Go for 1, 2. Halfway. Nice. Cross those ankles over, anchor those hands by your side, shoulders, reverse crunches. So shoulders are on the mat, crunching up and in, and slow on the descent. 2. Halfway. And 10. Perfect. All right. Now, starting. So now on these, when I come up, I actually give myself a little bit of a thrust of my hips forward. That makes sure I really come up nice and tall, keeping my shoulders back, good alignment in my sagittal, my frontal planes. Ooh, I'm learning so much in my personal training class. We're up for 1, 2, 2 more, guys. 9 and 10. Perfect. Last round of these. Let's get them done. Sooner we're done, sooner we're out. All right, again, hip ups, your choice, whatever version you like. Heels down or heels up for 1, 2, 3. And 10, perfect. Let's get those flutter kicks in. Now, I'm gonna change this around a little bit. Kind of bored with flutter kicks. I'm gonna do sort of crossover scissor kicks. 1, 2. Halfway. 1. Nice. All right. Doing our last set of reverse curls. Boom. We're up for 1, 2. Last one, guys. And 10. Sitting on up. I really like these. Imagine with the weight would be really nice. Good. We're up for 1, 2, 3. 2 more, guys. 9, 10. Beautiful. Let's go into a little tabletop and do a little cat and cow. Nice and easy, relaxed. Just do a little seated forward folds, a couple versions of those. Maybe a seated twist and we'll be out. So nice little short workout. Just getting a little moving going. Feel free to move around in any direction you'd like. If you want to use this as just a little bit of a warm-up and maybe throw in some sun salutations, I'd love to join you, but again, got to keep that left arm below my shoulder for another 4 weeks or so. All right. So now, sit on my mat, extend my legs out all the way long. Getting connected, moving any flesh out of the way, nice and tall. So when I do a seated forward fold, I want to make sure that I'm not just bending from here, because I'm not going to get very far. I'm going to throw a lot of strain on the lower back. Your lower back is going to be involved. It is going to be stretched out, but let's get there first. So nice and tall. And when I lean forward, 2 things. I try to lean as deep into my hip crease and my glutes as possible. And when I reach forward, I'm launching forward like I'm grabbing across the street. I'm going beyond my toes, launching up and out, then slowly coming in, tucking my chin. Now for me, I'm not going to pull on anything because I don't want to put any strain on my upper torso, especially my shoulders, especially the left side. And again, you'll notice as you hold this posture, and maybe adjust those heels a little bit, get a little deeper into it. Just holding nice and long. Now hopefully you've gotten to this posture without putting too much undue strain on the lower back, so just right now you're stretching that lower back. And again, as you stay deeper into it, bring yourself a little bit further, the forehead closer to your knees. Slowly we're going to rise back up. Let's do a little seated twist, and we're going to do a wide-legged forward fold, and we're going to really hold that one. So that's going to be kind of our exit out of here, but I love that posture. When I do a lot of walking, I come home and I do that stretch. I'll show you what it's all about. You guys know it already, but we'll do that stretch. It really helps to open my hips up, and I notice when I walk, getting one side a little bit of strain. I'm hoping it's just a muscle strain and nothing cartilagey. I think I'm too young for a hip replacement, but God knows, everything's falling apart. All right, so I'm gonna take my right knee, I'm gonna bend it. I'm gonna cross my right foot over my left. If you want to be really fancy, you can take that bottom foot and kick it back. Boom. Now, Take my right hand behind my back like a second spine. Left elbow crosses over to left knee. I'm not going to give too much leverage. I don't want to put too much strain here, but I'm rising up, twisting, levering, maybe looking behind me. Again, stretching things out. And feel free to go a little deeper if you'd like. And slowly we're going to unravel. Extend both those legs out. Let's work the second side. This time left leg crosses over. Again, if you want to be fancy, you can kick that right heel back or leave it out long in front of you, no worries. Sometimes it's easy to get this foot back, sometimes it's not. This time left hand behind as that second spine, right elbow to the outside of that left knee, rising up, twisting, and looking maybe behind you, or off to the side, or maybe still looking out front, your choice. Just depends on how your neck's feeling today. As we say in yoga especially, we always like to let our body lead our practice. However you're feeling at that moment dictates where you're taking your workout, where you're taking your practice. So my belief is you might come to a workout expecting one thing, and maybe you deliver to yourself something completely different. And it can be up, it can be down, it can be kind of in the middle. Slowly unravel, guys. Perfect. So now, take those legs out to a nice, big, wide letter V. Help those legs open, shift those hips forward. All right, so as I start to walk forward and just round my back, tuck my chin into my chest, I'm going to use the gravity with the weight of my torso to come a little bit deeper, wide leg forward fold. Now, ideally, I'd like to get my forehead to touch the tops of my hands. It will happen if I gently give myself time to loosen up, especially these hamstrings. That's what's really getting stretched here. You know, our muscles can stretch about 150% beyond their resting length, and then they come back. Beyond that becomes a strain, and that's an injury, and that's what we want to avoid. So it might take you some time, so just don't worry, don't rush it. Stretching is cumulative. The more you do, the better you get, but if you stop or slow your pace down, you only lose at half the rate it took you to get there. So if I've worked for 16 weeks on something, it's going to take me 32 weeks to get back to where I started. If I've worked 8 weeks at something, again, 16 weeks, half the rate. So leaning forward, maybe taking those legs out a little further. And again, letting the weight of your torso leverage forward, cantilever forward. And maybe getting that forehead closer to those hands. Taking a little bit deeper. A lot of people like to use a block here to rest their forehead on that block. And remember, blocks have 3 levels, so there's 3 opportunities. You might start at a higher level and then bring yourself down to a lower level, or start at the lowest level, and then as you feel your hips opening up, removing the block completely. Good, slowly rise up. Awesome. Bring those legs together. Ooh, that's the tough part. All right, let's cross those legs over, sit to a nice easy pose, Sukhasana, boom, there we go. Short and sweet, a lot of core day, a little bit of movement, a little bit of twisting. We all need some good twisting, some rotation, which is nice to do. There's a guy on Instagram, I think his name is Creating Andre. He's out of Washington, D.C. I will write his the connection. He does yoga, and he does amazing. I mean, it's like, do you have any cartilage? I'm wondering, because God, some of the postures he gets into. I'm not usually an Instagram fitness fan because it's not real. okay? It's made up, it's fake, it's photoshopped, it's edited, it's crazy, it makes no sense. There's no purpose for it. It doesn't help us live our daily life. But what I found is this guy does some stuff and I'm thinking, wow, I can't do what you're doing, but I loved raising, so he does like a reverse warrior and the front foot, he rises up on the ball of his toes. Well, it's throwing a little bit more balance at us, but we can all attempt it, okay? So it's not something so crazy and off the beam that would be like, oh, that's just fantasy land. So I'm looking at his stuff and I'm picking little bits of a posture, like, well, that's a nice little expression you've moved into. So that's how I look at the Instagram world in fitness. I pull little things out, like that's something that we can do. It might be a challenge, but it's something we can do and it's attainable and it's reasonable and it makes sense. Versus the whole posture might be just kind of crazy. So anyway, with that advice, thank you guys for joining me today. Short and sweet, a little bit of movement, a lot of core. Try to stay sane. This is getting tough for me. I am finished all the things I wanted to do in this downtime. A lot of my summer plans I accelerated, one of which was getting my formal personal training certification through ACE Fitness, which I did, passed the exam, easy peasy, so now I'm kind of stuck. I need something to do. So I'm going to try to keep these videos up and send them out to you guys on a regular basis. Oh, so you're done? Okay. Oh, we got a present. Bye, guys.